Should Cleveland unfurl a banner to the biggest person to rise from these parts since Nelson Rockefeller in LeBron James and be cool? Or should it go with something a little more staid and be a little less cool? That is the subject for today's opinion show, where we gather the members of the editorial board of the Plain Dealer and the Northeast Ohio Media Group for a chat about issues of the day. I'm joined today by Betsy Sullivan, our opinion director, Kevin O'Brien, the deputy editorial page editor and columnist, and editorial writers Chris Evans and Pete Krouse. To set the stage, years ago, when LeBron was a rookie in the NBA and we were happy he was here, iconic image of him was put on a big banner in downtown Cleveland, and everybody was happy. They had pictures taken with it. It gave us a certain amount of coolness. But then he left, and we were sad, and we took the banner down, and we wanted to have a banner for the image and put up something that was more of a skyscape. Pretty, but not so cool. Now LeBron is back. We're happy. He's rejuvenated our image, and we're debating whether or not to put up another iconic image. There are those who want to see LeBron back there because it was so cool when he did it the first time. There are others that say we need something that's more inclusive. And then there's people like Steve Litt who say the proposal is dreary and cuts off LeBron's hands because he stretches so far. So, start the debate. Let's go with our resident critic of what he calls the oligarchs that own the sports teams, Chris Evans. Yeah. What do you think?
Well, I get it. I mean, I think the idea is, you know, LeBron never left, all is forgiven. But having this sort of Christ figure up there, I find very disturbing. And the other thing is that we have this love-hate relationship with him that goes back to when he was playing high school. And there was the Hummergate. His mother buys him a Hummer for his 18th birthday. You know, people went nuts over that. When LeBron left and went to Dallas, and they lost. Went to Miami, and they lost to Dallas in 2011. I mean, the city just, cleveland.com, we all just reveled in that, and there was talk about having a parade celebrating the Mavericks' victory and having the streets lined with burning effigies of LeBron. You know, to me, it's this love-hate thing. We love him, we hate him, we love him, we hate him. It's like.
So you mark you down as no, you want to be less cool.
No, it's not about being cool. It's just being, you know, he's just a guy doing his job, and let's see if he brings home a championship. Let's see what he does. Let's give him a chance.
Kevin.
I don't care. The notion, though, I think what gets to me about this is the notion that Cleveland is doing something. Well, Cleveland isn't doing something. Some guys want to hang a banner on a building, and there's a big discussion about it. The people at Cleveland have zip to do with any of this.
Except they're debating it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's not like it's their idea. It's not like they're behind it somehow. It's a marketing ploy like everything else.
The City Planning Commission has approved it, so, you know.
Which has nothing to do with the people of Cleveland.
But it's a signature piece of our landscape. If it goes up, people do see it from a wide
Right, and the way I see this, I see LeBron as more of a prodigal son who has come home as opposed to a savior. And I think this banner should, you know, like Chris said, you know, it makes, you know, it makes him look like he's Jesus or something.
He's turned his back on the city again.
Yeah, exactly. Why can't he be facing this way?
Yeah, but you know, he's come back, and we should all be happy about that. We should all celebrate it. But let's let the team win. You know, let's celebrate the Cavs. You know, LeBron is the biggest part of the new Cavs, but Kyrie Irving is there, and what's his name from Minnesota? I mean, without those two, you know, we're not going to win a championship. Plus, we're a lot more than just the town of LeBron. I mean, you listen to people talk about Cleveland, especially on sports talk shows. It's, oh yeah, it's Cleveland. It's LeBron town. You know, that's all Cleveland has. That's not all Cleveland has. Personally, I would like to see Sherwin-Williams, who owns the building, put up that iconic earth with the paint dripping down it in a big display. To me, that is more significant of Cleveland. I mean, Sherwin-Williams has been around for what, 150 years. You know, they're a main cog in our economy. You know, people are going to see LeBron inside the queue. We don't have to see him constantly.
Yeah, but I think if they do the world and it's a basketball,
Wow.
How about that?
I would like that.
Oh my gosh, are we
That's
over-analyzing this? I mean, this is just unbelievable to me that.
We haven't even
what's
begun.
Okay, this is, this is essentially a piece of, downtown art, right? And we need more of that, not less, and we need more things that have some sense of, class and artistry as opposed to red plastic dye, which the Horseshoe Casino
That's
proposed.
iconic. That's Americana.
Or, the kind of tacky thing that's on that building now that this would replace that's really sort of almost cartoony image of downtown.
Yeah, well, I don't like that.
I mean, I was interested in Steve Litt's criticism because to me it actually validated this, that, it's gloomy, it's atmospheric. It's not intended to be religious art. It's meant to be a big, bold statement, but not cartoonish. It is dark and atmospheric. To me, that's cool. That is cool. And that is more about what Cleveland is. It's comfortable with itself, or it needs to be comfortable with itself. It doesn't need to completely, stare at its navel every time that LeBron sneezes. Let's accept the fact he's back. And this is a cool piece of art that's been proposed for downtown. It's not the be-all or the end-all.
And can we step back a moment? Because you guys seem to be saying LeBron is just a player. And LeBron, when he announced he's coming back, he had that very poetic letter about why he could play anywhere. He chose to come to Cleveland. And it's not just to bring basketball. He wants to be a community leader. He wants to mentor people. I was in Italy when he announced he was coming back and the World Cup was going on. People were talking about LeBron. He is the biggest name of these parts. He is known across the world. He is an economy all his own. He's such a big personage that we have created a beat here just to cover him, both on the court and off the court. He is big for Cleveland. So what's wrong with having an iconic artistic image of him downtown?
Maybe we should have had it with him wearing his New York Yankees hat.
No, but
or maybe his Dallas Cowboys jersey.
Address the question, though. You're saying you don't think
I like LeBron. I'm so glad that he's back. I'm so glad that he's back. I think it's terrific, and I liked what he said in his in the Sports Illustrated piece. And I'm a big fan of the Cavs, but I'm a big fan of the Cavs. I'm not a fan necessarily of individual players, and I think that we kind of perpetuate this notion to the world that all we are is the hometown of LeBron, and when we have all these other tremendous things that have been going on since he left. So, I mean, it's not a big deal. I'm not a LeBron basher. I was, but I'm coming around. I'm coming around. But let's celebrate the team. Well, let's celebrate, getting a victory and not worry about the worship of certain people. I just don't like that.
I keep thinking that, if, the season tanks, we're going to start hearing stories about King Choke again. There's going to, again, the tide is going to turn. I mean, we love him now. And I agree with Betsy. I mean, I like the art. I kind of wish he was facing the city rather than his back.
Everyone's a critic.
But
some are better than others.
I think we're gonna, we're building up this. I heard from a friend in Canada, so I'll give you that context. But it was like, oh, LeBron's coming back. I mean, he's gonna heal. The blind can see, the crippled can walk, the Cuyahoga River is straightening. There's this huge expectation that this guy's gonna, he's like Jesus, and I just think we're gonna we're heading down the road to heartache again, and if LeBron doesn't deliver, it's all gonna turn on him.
But as a feature piece of downtown art, people driving into downtown, we got a lot of people coming to downtown. Why not have a poster of LeBron, of the signature guy of the team? Yeah, there are other players, Pete, but let's face it, LeBron is the best player.
And there's other things to celebrate too. I go back to the Sherwin-Williams.
Yeah, a lot of people will come down and say, hey, I want to get my picture taken.
That's like when you go to those old Italian restaurants and they have murals of Venice on the wall.
And to me, the very things that you were talking about, Chris, this sort of belief here that I think is really a little bit, almost like a disease, that we always are prepared for the worst instead of allowing ourselves to expect the best. But in a way, there's what Steve Lick called very downbeat, very gloomy art is appropriate
Right.
for actually that very thing, that we're always pessimistic.
But to me, Betsy, I don't think it is gloomy. I think atmospheric is a good word. I mean, and it's I mean, it captures your attention, and you don't really. I mean, it's kind of dynamic.
So you like it?
So put it in a museum.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, my point is that we shower him with gifts and praise, and like I say, I mean, you look at when he left, and our reaction, not just as a city, but as a newspaper in cleveland.com, we reviled him.
But he came back. And
I know, so I get it. I get it.
And it's like we have no dignity sometimes. I mean,
But there's a difference between the people who are putting the poster up and the people who are fans. They're not the same people.
But they're trying to read the. They're trying to read the mood of the city by the people who are doing it are trying to read the mood of the city.
They're also trying to sell shoes.
And what they want.
Bingo.
What's another?
The oligarchy guy nailed one here. They're trying to sell shoes.
Nike, that little check in that.
Yeah, I wonder how much. Nobody's reported how much anybody's paying Sherwin-Williams to put that up there, are they? I mean, that's a private transaction. I'd like to know how much.
We're just coming off like stuffed shirts here. I mean,
We are stuffed shirts. It's our job.
But this is something the city wants to celebrate. People are excited about
Let's
this.
celebrate a championship when it happens. We get way out ahead of ourselves. We celebrate the draft. We celebrate, the Browns won one game, and I heard people talking about, Clevelanders don't know how to handle success. The Browns are going to have to, think about how they can handle success. They won one game. Let's get the job done. Let's put the hay in the barn, as they say in high school football.
Oh, well,
before we start celebrating things.
The what?
The hay in the barn. It means getting the job done.
Oh, okay.
I learned that today. Actually, I'd heard it before, but.
Take a lap.
All right, so Pete,
For not knowing.
no. Chris, no. Betsy likes it. Kevin
I don't
doesn't
care.
No,
really care.
I don't. I'm not saying I dislike it. I'm just saying that it's emblematic of, and that's a stuffed shirt word, of this love-hate relationship where LeBron's back, we're all happy, the world is a beautiful place, Cleveland's beautiful. If he chokes, we are going to eviscerate him.
But how does that affect the banner? He'll choke one day, he'll be good the next.
Is it
Isn't that-
flammable?
That's
Well, I
the
think
beauty of a
banner.
basketball season. If you didn't like game A, game B is the next one.
Right, there's always a fresh sheet of ice, as we say in hockey.
Okay, well,
I'm having my garage door painted as Corey Kluber.
2 votes for coolness, 2 votes for less than coolness, 1 in the middle. I'd like to hear what you think. Leave your thoughts in the comments where you
What would be
And we'll
really
see
cool.
you next time on The Opinion Show.
How can you equate that with us being cool? I just don't.